Hi, everybody. My name is Jamie Tomer, and my topic today is about homes and their environmental impact. Specifically for this topic, I'm talking about the creation of homes, new build homes, and what type of emissions in terms of greenhouse gases that they are giving off into our environments. So, firstly, we're going to have to talk about outlining the process of how homes are made. Firstly, we have excavation. This is when they dig out of the ground all the dirt for your home or your foundation or your basement, or when they put a concrete slab for your home to be on top of. Following that is the concrete. This is the foundation itself. This is the basement. This is what keeps your house there together. After that is framing. Framing is the wood, kind of like as you can see here, the wood on your home. This is the your walls, the interior of your walls, your roof, below your floor. Following that is plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. Plumbing is the system that brings your water to you and your sewage wastewater away from your home. Electrical is what brings electricity to all the things in your home. And HVAC is your cooling and heating system for your home. Insulation, which we're not going to hit on too hard today, is insulation is what keeps our houses warm. There's not exactly huge environmental issues with insulation, only the burning of insulation, which you should not be doing, period. It should be getting disposed of other ways. Drywall or gypsum board, this is what the walls of your home actually look like. If you can see behind me, that's drywall. Around my door, that's drywall. Interior finishing and exterior finishing. Interior finishing is all the trim, all the doors, everything from windows, all that stuff that goes in your home. Exterior finishing is your roof, your vinyl siding or brick on the outside of your home, and flooring. Flooring is the floor that you stand on in your home. This could be carpet and other things. So firstly, we're going to talk about excavation. For carbon outputs for excavation, we're worried about the engine and how much diesel gas it's using per hour. Approximately, it takes 32 hours to dig the foundation of a home up. That's 9 gallons per hour of use of diesel gas. We know that 10.15 kilograms of greenhouse gases are released per gallon of diesel fuel. This gives us 288 gallons, which is 2,932 kilograms of greenhouse gases. That's half of the entire emissions of a car for an entire year on average. That's a lot of greenhouse gas emissions from just the excavation of dirt away from your home. Following this is a staggering amount of CO2 output, which is the concrete that is poured for the foundation of an average home. The average home has 96 cubic yards put for a foundation. This usually includes a basement of some sort. This is equal to about 374,000 pounds of concrete. That's a lot of concrete, but if you think about it, it has to hold an entire home up and it makes sense. There are 0.9 pounds of carbon dioxide per pound of concrete that is released for the production of concrete. This is 152 metric tons of carbon dioxide that is released into the atmosphere due to the production and placement of concrete. That's equal to 33 cars' emissions a year. Following concrete is framing. We know not a lot about the framing of wood and its emissions other than for production and moving and transporting of this wood, which is a lot of emissions, but it's hard to calculate. On the other hand, we know that wood actually holds carbon. And outside of burning wood, which you shouldn't be doing again if it's inside of your home, it's actually helping the environment by keeping that carbon in. We can't, like I said, also we can't forget the downfalls of this, which is transportation of wood and production of wood, as well as getting the people in, transporting the people in to get the wood up in your home. That takes a lot of emissions, especially from transport in general. That also applies to every part of building a home. Plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. Well, first, what is it? Like I've explained earlier, as you can see here, these are pipes. It's your plumbing. This is also water lines, and a lot of this, there is some electrical here. It's harder to see, but that's what it is. So, like I said, it's to bring water, electricity, and air into your home. The average house has 75 feet of piping in their home. That's usually PVC or plastic piping for your home. That just brings the water in and the sewage out. There's very little emissions due to electrical wires. The creation of electrical wires holds a lot of carbon, just kind of like wood, but there isn't much emissions from that. HVAC, there's issue with chlorofluorocarbons, what we learned about here in biology, with freon emissions that can be not usually in homes, but a lot of times in other types of buildings. But the biggest issue with this is 452 kilograms of carbon dioxide for every 3 meters of PVC piping that is created. This is produced in the factories. That's equal to 75 cars a year, or 344 metric tons of carbon dioxide just to have the pipes in your home to bring the water in and the sewage water out. Next up is another big one, drywall. Drywall is the walls of your home. As you can see here, this is drywall and before you paint on it and stuff, and when after it's had mud on it. It takes 5,048 megajoules of energy to produce 1,000 feet of drywall. An average home has about 8,500 feet of drywall. 1 megajoule is 77 grams of carbon dioxide. That's under the assumption that we're not using solar power, wind power, or hydroelectric power, or nuclear power. We're using some sort of emissions power to create this drywall. That's 3.3 metric tons of carbon dioxide per house, which is 3/4 of the car's emissions every year. Next up is interior finishing. This is impossible to calculate. There's so many things that go to interior finishing, from the plastics that's made from your wall outlets to the trim around your baseboards and around your windows. We know that all that's done. There's definitely emissions that come from this because we know people are coming into work to do these things. They're being produced somehow, but it's almost impossible to calculate the exact emissions that were going to come from interior finishing of a home. However, there's exterior finishing of homes. This is the bricklaying, the siding, and the roofing. There's around 18 tons of bricks for one home, if the brick is only covered in home. Or on the other hand, if it's only vinyl siding, there's about 110 pounds of carbon dioxide to cover a house in vinyl siding, which is nothing nearly as much as 5.13 metric tons of carbon dioxide to cover a home in bricks. This is from the production of the bricks, not the bricks being put on the home. 0.57 metric tons for shingles on a roof. This is the average sized home. So just to get the shingles on your roof to make sure water doesn't get through, we're giving out half a metric ton, which is about a little bit less than a fourth of a car's emissions every year. Flooring. There's a huge amount of different types of flooring. But what we can talk about here to finish this off is that carpet, tile, laminate, vinyl planking, do not burn it. There is tons of emission given off from the toxicity of burning these things, just like insulation. Overall, the production of these things has a little bit of emissions, but nothing near what you're going to get from burning it off. This is my works cited page, and thank you for listening. That's how hard it is to make a home in terms of carbon dioxide emissions.